Hi and welcome. I am Oracle Asherah. This is an angel guided energy reading for fixed signs. We are talking to Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Okay. Okay, so we are in a place of transformation. Okay, we are remembering ourselves, remembering our passions, our gifts, our talents, our skills. We're in a place of finding our passion, skills, and gifts. Okay, so I love this, that this is a beautiful time and place. So I really recommend that we really focus on shedding the unnecessary. So really bring light to things that are fearful, anything that's fueling doubt or insecurities. Okay, because when we're going through this beautiful stage and moving forward, we don't want to bring those things with us. Okay, so really take some time to address those wonderful things, right? Transformation, boundaries. Okay, boundaries. Boundaries are super important because they create a place where people meet us and we meet them. And this is without walls. Okay, when we build walls, eventually we just get comfortable with them being there and we move on. Moss grows over, we forget, and we have this terrible thing later that we either have to tear down or expect someone else to tear down. Okay, so I prefer to have boundaries, which is I know my value, my space, and I value my space and time and being, and I can meet you here and I can extend a hand with things, but I'm not letting you in here. Okay, and that can change over time with healing, trust, love, growth, right? So that can change and shift with the development of ourself and relationships. Okay, right? Love, love, love yourself, love your space, love your home, love your family, love your friends, love your job. Really love everything that you do. Love everywhere you go, everything you do. I always love and try to leave everything and everyone better than I found them, right? And if you're not, at least don't do harm. Okay? Okay. Love that. So while we're in this beautiful space of transformation and growth and finding ourselves, healing is very important. So really do spend some time on your shadow work. So that would be any traumas or anything you need to unpack that your inner child is hanging on to, because your inner child is what brings the joy, the playfulness, and the fun back into your life. So let's unpack any burdens that they've got going on. So whatever the fear, trauma response, anything that we're looping, anything that that is causing repeated behavior. So that's usually through trauma, fear, doubt, all these lovely negative words. So if we can focus on these negative feelings and then focus on what the story is for each one, and then we can focus on how do we heal those things, your space and your world would be much better. Right. So right. Okay. So while we're doing all this healing work, do have compassion for yourself. Do have compassion for those around you, because we're all learning, healing, and growing. Okay, and as we give time and hold space for these things, truth and answers will come. And that can be your wins. That could be developments. That could be partnerships and alliances. That could be so many wonderful things. If we just nurture our garden and allow time for these things to show up for us. Okay? Love it. Financial health, good luck, freedom, prosperity. I love this. Beginnings, manifestation, happiness, courage. Right? These are all great signs that beautiful, wonderful things that are in our destiny, that are coming. So I really suggest in this time of transformation is getting rid of the baggage that you don't want to move forward with. Okay? I love that. So travel, move forward in time with great love for your unions, your friends, your family. Okay, love that. All right, so let's focus on what attributes in the self that we need to focus on. What is our shadow and light work? What is it we need to look at now? Okay, got a few here. Okay. All right, so I got Queen here. Radiates the regal feminine, uses benevolent authority to protect others. Okay, so putting the agenda, the role aside, I love the message here. Benevolent authority to protect others. Okay, self and others. So when you are loving and unconditionally loving, you want the best for everybody. You want everyone to be happy and living in fulfillment. Okay, so this is great energy. Be mindful not to become arrogant with authority. Right, controlling or demanding. Right, so quite often I can see how, we might be like, oh, I'm the boss, blah, blah, blah. And we then kind of get caught up with, well, this is my chair, this is my situation, blah, blah, blah. So with great power comes great responsibility. Let's keep focusing on our goals and how we can use our roles to help. All right? All right. So... Right, so we need to focus on the beautiful things in life, celebrate the beauty in ourselves and the world and what others and what we're sharing, okay? Be mindful to not be a detriment to your health, to overindulge, and do not indulge at the expense of others, which, don't use people to advance. Don't use things for your comfort or benefit, right? So continue to share, continue to build, right? All right, entrepreneurial energy here. Creative ability to turn anything to gold. Delight in sharing life riches. So this is a beautiful part of, this Queen card here with this beautiful role of helping and protecting others. The shadow attribute to this would be hoarding, obsessing, fear of losing, right? So I can see sometimes we don't want to lose what we work so hard to get, right? But what is ours is to be ours. That's a lovely thing I could throw out there for some of us is I like to pray for permanent blessings. So that means I am doing the work in order to achieve my goals and dreams, but I'm not doing it at the expense of others. I'm doing it with my karma clean. So I'm not going to be attracting a bunch of lessons, a bunch of negative or unwanted people or situations, right? So in this place of transformation and learning and finding yourself, pray for your permanent blessings and the path of alignment. So when we are in alignment, it can't be taken from you. When you're in alignment, you're not going to lose. When you're in alignment, it is yours. Okay? But if we have achievements on the backs of others, unfortunately, you're going to have some lessons that are going to come your way. Okay. Right, so the magic of the child, I briefly spoke about that. So seeing the potential for the sacred beauty in all things, right? I love the aspect of looking at the world with the love of a child because they don't have the knowledge, the wisdom of all the harm, the ugly, the negative, right? It's through our traumas in life that we learn to be jaded or burdened, right? So we need to unpack those things and bring that magic back. Okay. Okay. So our throat chakra, this would be speaking your truth. Okay, so like not all truth is beautiful. Okay, so sometimes we need to talk about things that hurt us, things that we want to heal, right? So sometimes having the hard discussions and speaking our truth is what clears our chakras. So don't be afraid to talk about the hard stuff, because if you're around the right people, and it's going to be beneficial. There's going to be growth, there's going to be love, there's going to be protection. Okay, you need to really focus on your self-esteem right now. Okay, so building your confidence, your self-love, self-worth, your pride. So as we're going through this lovely transformation of finding and rediscovering yourself, as you step into all your gifts and powers and purpose, really protect your confidence and your worth, and your self-love for yourself. Okay, right. Forgiveness. So forgiveness is very important, because as we speak our truths and speak our hard truths and the ugly things, we need to do a really good job of letting go, heal for the growth, having compassion for our experience and whatever and whoever what we're talking to. Have forgiveness, because we're all growing and learning, and that's all in the path of relationships. It's through relationships that we discover ourselves. It's through relationships that we discover the ugly part of ourselves. It's through relationships that we grow and blossom and better the world, right? So responsibility, right? Self-discipline, empowerment, reliability, fulfillment. So as we take the responsibility for ourselves, discipline is important, because without it, we're just chaos, right? So self-discipline, empowerment, reliability is responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. So as you become more powerful, conscious and awareness with responsibility comes from self-discipline. It comes from fulfillment and being able to grow. Okay, so emotions. When we're experiencing so many things at one time, it can be kind of overwhelming. So depending also what phase of life you're in, emotions are very important, right? They are what's expressing from our soul. Our body is a place of where our consciousness meets our self. Okay, so with our emotions, we need to be, okay, I am aware, I see, I witness, and be very careful not to lash out or hurt those around you because of your emotions. Yes, sometimes we're low vibration and it takes some work, right? So that's where we need compassion, understanding, forgiveness for ourselves, and we need to ask for compassion and forgiveness for those around us, because growing isn't always easy or pretty. Okay, so right. All right, so as we're going through these phases of transformation, it's important that truth, focus, right, and rejoice in the beautiful things. Okay, there's a lot of hurt here in a lot of these cards, but I don't want to focus on all the little things that shape us. But it's important that we address them. It's important that we communicate them. It's important that we grow from them. Okay, so I'm going to just come back to this compassion and forgiveness stuff, because without it, there is no awareness of self or growth. Okay, patience. You need to have patience for yourself and patience for those around you in order for us to shift, shape, and grow. Okay. As we make choices, we need to pray for the guidance that that we're not distracted with our wounds. We're not distracted with the negativity that's bombarding. Okay, so when you're vulnerable, we're in a state of transformation and growth. Being vulnerable sometimes makes our emotions a little bit more crazy. So focusing on pulling that all in, doing the things that's going to help you heal and grow, allowing that to be a focus and giving yourself permission to do so, is going to give some clarity in your awareness. Okay, so have patience, stay kind. Talk soon.